this is going to be, my segue is going to be rough this morning.
It is? Oh, great.
I think so. It's National Education and Sharing Day today.
Okay.
I forgot our little timer. Oh, we may have to stop earlier than that. Yep. So if you'd like to be educated on how easy it is to sell your home, let me share with you who I would recommend. Huh?
Oh, there you go.
That's not too bad. Our friends from the Wisconsin Lakes team. Anyone can say that they are an agent, but not everyone treats their clients as they would like to be treated. And that's what Aaron and Katie do. Find out more by visiting lakesteamwy.com. Yeah. Right. What do you give me on that?
I'll give you a 5 just because.
Oh, okay. That's a tough one. There's only today there's only 4 national holidays. So it's also International Be Kind to Lawyers Day. One way you can be kind to a lawyer today is visiting industrialsafetystore.com. Pass. You can't. So hopefully people will understand that the reason I brought that up. Industrial Safety sells and services practically everything that goes into a fire station and on a firefighter. But they also recently incorporated kitchen suppression system maintenance, inspections, and installs. For more information, visit their website, industrialsafetystore.com. What about that?
Yeah, I'm going to go with a 4.
I know. Other was like cheesecake. No, something. I don't know. It's like there's... Ugh. It was hard to find those. Hey, how are you? How are you this morning?
I'm great. How are you?
Pretty good.
Yeah. Well, that's good.
So I have some graphics I wanted to throw up here. I moved out of our studio, and I'll get to that. But I loaded those in real quickly this morning. I think you'll get a kick out of them.
Okay.
I really do. So hopefully we will.
What are they of? Or is it
it's about us. We were actually back at the studio.
Oh.
We'll get to that in a minute.
All right.
All right. Good morning, everybody. It's Positive Tuesday today, April 12th, 2022. For Barron County Sheriff Chris Fitzgerald, I'm Ben Dryden, and you're watching Positive Tuesday with Ben and Fitzy, presented by Professional Exteriors and Interiors. With nearly 20 years of experience, this locally owned and operated business has provided quality work in roofing, garages, siding, window installations, kitchen and bathroom remodeling, vinyl and hardwood flooring, and they can even build your house or business from the ground up. Like Fitzy and I, they believe that it's the little things that make a big difference. So give them a call today. Call Brian. The number is right there on the screen. Fitzy, what's up?
Not much. It's a good day.
Is it? How do you know?
I got a lot of things going on today. It's a little busy with a lot of little things, which makes it a fun day. Nothing real big, but a lot of little things. I'm going to give a tour this afternoon to some people at the jail, and had a meeting this morning already with the
Is that what you call it now? Giving a tour when you arrest someone? No, let me give you a tour of the jail. You been drinking, son? All right, let's go. I'm going to give you the tour of the jail.
I'm going to give you a tour. Free tours today. No.
Yep. So seriously, though, giving a tour. So I remember doing that when the dad was newly elected sheriff. So this must have been early 90s. And the new jail was put up in Washburn. So they were doing a lot of tours. And I remember going in there in the cell door, that you can get in the jail cell, then they close it. And I literally to this day remembered, I know this is like just a fun thing to do, but it was a creepy, eerie feeling. And I literally remembered at that moment, I said, I'm never going to be in jail, because that is just, ugh.
And I love giving tours of the jail, but it's a Leadership Barron County group is coming this afternoon. Leadership Washburn County has a similar thing. They do go around and tour different businesses. I was part of that organization for years. And this year day happens to be Barron Day, and they spend about an hour here learning about the Sheriff's Department and getting a tour of the jail. And dispatch. And it's National Dispatcher Week, so thank you to all of our dispatchers.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah.
Yeah, so down there, you have it separated, don't you?
Yep.
Jailers and dispatchers? You have that luxury?
Separate each end of the building. Yeah, we have that luxury.
That's a nice luxury to have.
It is that they can concentrate on one thing, and obviously we're bigger. I would say 44,000 versus 14,000, and I know Rusk and Washburn would like to separate them because they are two different jobs. But at times it's tough when that you're in that smaller type atmosphere, and you don't have many inmates, and your call volume's not like ours, and so I understand that. But we have the luxury. In the old jail that was built, this new building is 19 years old. That they were together, and now when we moved to the new building 19 years ago, it was they separated them.
Oh, didn't realize that. So over the last week, what's so you're telling us about a great day today, little things make a big difference. But over the last week, I don't know what's new.
You know what? I had a nice, relaxing weekend. Didn't do much. I emceed a banquet for Rocky Mountain Elk, helped them raise some money at Turtleback. So that was great to see. Lots of people out and about. And the golf course is looking pretty. So I think we'll be golfing there by the end of the week. So we'll have to get our clubs out.
Yeah, no kidding. And remember, we're going to be doing the Spooner golf thing again this year. And I got the date for it. I think I sent that to you. But we're not going to have Matt be a part of it. So it'll be you, Dad, and I. And then my brother-in-law, he's our ringer.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, because not Matt. Matt was, remember last year? Well, we don't need to talk about it now, but Matt the whole time. I mean, he was doing all his boat rentals. And I'm like, man, just try to go. But it was just fantastic. So, on Saturday, it was just gorgeous out. So I took the day off from work, and we raked the whole yard, etc., and then had a fire. And by the way, do you know? Someone had commented, I put a photo up on my personal page about burning cardboard because, we got a whole bunch of big cardboard boxes from the winter, Christmas stuff or whatever. And is that a bad thing to burn cardboard?
Well, I knew you'd catch heck for it because people don't like when people. Yeah,
I should just call you before I post anything.
Because I knew you would take heat for it because somebody out there, it's not burning garbage, but it's not, I know why some people get upset because it throws ash into the air and things like that.
I literally didn't know that was a bad thing. I'm not kidding.
Well,
I didn't know that.
I don't know that it's a bad thing. I just know that some people don't like it. I know a lot of people do it, and that's how it's not a bad thing. It's not, I don't know what the ordinance in Spooner is, but I think you can do it. Yeah.
So, because I don't want to be doing anything illegal, and I certainly don't want. I mean, if it's just a little bit, I really don't care. But in terms of, there's maybe a little toxins, whatever.
No, I don't think that's the reason it's illegal. I think it's just burning garbage, and people don't like it, and some people take exception to it. And you know how that is. Everybody.
What are you talking about? Oh. Yeah, exactly. Hey, speaking of, that was on Saturday, and I guess maybe I shouldn't be burning cardboard, but I'm still gonna until I find out a really good reason not to. But I learned two things.
Use it to start a fire.
That's what we used it for. It just happened to be that we had a whole bunch of boxes left over because we haven't had a fire in like 6 months. So we had a dozen big boxes. I'm like, let's break them down and burn them. But I also learned two other things. One, I did an article. I put it up yesterday. It's in your county. The headline. Hold on a second, Mike. Where's his? Well, there we go. What did he say? It'd be funny to see Ben's name on the right position. Oh, that would actually be funny. Yeah, that would be good. I mean, for Mike, not so much for me. But so I put this story up yesterday. The headline, it was from DATCAP, a news release, highly pathogenic avian influenza identified in Barron County flock. It didn't specify chickens or whatever, so I put chickens, and someone said it was turkeys, so I changed it. That's fine. But the interesting part is I learned a new word. In the news release, it says birds on the property will be depopulated to prevent the spread of disease. I remember reading that going, depopulated. Oh, kill them. Got it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just a nicer, instead of a riot, what's it called?
Civil unrest.
Civil unrest. There you go. So we don't kill it or them. We depopulate. I didn't know that was a word or a thing.
Yep. That's a soft word, just like civil unrest, to riot. And so when you hear the word civil unrest, it really means people rioted.
And depopulated means, we just, killed them all. Another thing, and I have a photo of this, so I put up a story from the DNR last week. Oh, shoot, I didn't grab the headline or anything. Mm-hmm. But they sent a press release about deer. I don't remember what it was about. And they sent a photo, but the photo it said on there like iStock, and I'm like, well, I think they paid for that photo then. It wasn't a DNR photo, so I don't know if I can use that. Just to be safe, I'm going to find a copyright-free picture of a deer and just use that instead. So I went on, there's like 3 different websites I go to. So I went on the first one and I just put in deer, and there was a picture of a deer.
Right.
And I used that. Come to find out, that's the wrong deer. I didn't know there were different kinds. So that's the photo that I used. Now, tell me, Fitzy, does that look like a deer?
I would have said, I did. I saw the photo. I said, Ben put up a picture of a deer, and then I saw the comment. I'm like, wow, I wouldn't have known that. But that's exactly what we get to do in our jobs, is people get to pick apart everything we do. And that's the fun part of our job some days.
Some days. And that one wasn't too bad because some people, and I had a comment because some people thought it was DNR's photo. So apparently that's a red deer, just for people who don't know. That is a red deer, which makes sense now I look at it, but it looks brown to me. But I didn't even know there was a difference between a red and a brown deer. Like, I've never heard anyone say, yeah, this weekend I'm going to go brown deer hunting or white tail or whatever it's called, the other ones.
Right.
So, I don't know, it was a picture of a deer with horns, which I also found out they're called antlers, not horns.
Right. I didn't know that one. I didn't know that.
Okay. So I'm like, I didn't know, so I had to put up the comment. So I made sure I stated, so I found the first copyright-free picture of a deer and used it. I've never hunted in my life, and I don't know anything about deer. They all look the same to me. Apologies for using whatever deer this is, as it sounds like it's not the right kind of deer. And nice for Jacob to say, most honest answer I've ever seen on social media, but
Correct.
yeah, I had no idea. So here's the thing, Fitzy. When I see a deer, I don't see color.
That's right. I didn't see it.
Even if all you guys do, I don't. So there.
That's right. But yes, you're exactly right. We treat all deer equally.
Yeah, that's exactly right. But I don't know. I didn't know anything about it. So we didn't have any press releases or articles in this last week.
No press releases.
I know I wanted to talk about something, bring up restraining orders. But before that, last week we had Adam Jarko on for a show. And at the very beginning, I said, we were talking about what's new in your life, etc. And I said, yeah, I want to talk about something, but let's do it next week because I really wanted to get to Adam for our guest that was on. And so 2 weekends ago, I officially moved out of our studio. And you know me, I get emotional easily and sentimental and whatever. And we were moving out of all this because we have some plans for the future. So for now, I'm just doing everything here from home. And I have been for a while, but you're all blurry. That's weird.
Fuzzy.
Yeah, it'll catch up soon enough.
Yeah. It is weird.
Yeah. So anyway, we get this all done. We move everything out. And when it was all clean and I was leaving, I looked and I started crying a little bit. Man, see, now I'm almost, because just thinking about all the memories from there.
Right.
And it was just, first I want to say thank you to Tim Reedy, State Farm Agency, because we rented our office in a studio behind their building and through him. But all the great times that we had there, I remember, because if you recall, like you were one of the first people we've ever had in there. That was like 4 years ago, almost 4 years ago now. And it was, we just had this table that wasn't high enough, so we put it on 2x4s and 4x1s, and then another big, like the bottom of a bed, we just kind of skill sawed the sides off, put some, not construction, landscaping tarp or landscaping cloth for the top of this thing. They were held down by clamps. We just had this $20 microphones, a $50 webcam. I mean, when people would come in, I remember Tricia Zunker, who ran against Tiffany in that last congressional district election, and she came in, and I remember she just looked at it, and I was looking at her just going, what did I get myself into? Like, this is just terrible. So I had a few photos here. So this is what I'm talking about. So that was one of our first ones, and that was before I did anything in the studio, really. So it was just this tabletop that I skill sawed off, little microphones. That was us there. Then here's one. Now I put now it's fancy life here. Now I put that cloth on top of it, and I just nailed it in.
Right.
And there was Dad there.
That was a long time ago.
Yeah. Yep. And that was another one when we started getting soundproof stuff for the room. That was during the sheriff off.
Yeah, remember that game we played?
Yeah, it's still one of my favorite things I've ever seen in my life. And then we got real fancy. We got a green screen and and that was a new desk. And then we upgraded from $20 to $60 microphones.
And I must have came prepared. I had a little notebook there, and I came prepared.
That was the one that I think we went through the reports, the annual reports.
End of the year.
Yeah, I love it.
I took notes and prepared. Wow.
It was weird.
Now I
But
just
no,
run in
it
at
was
5
so there were so many great memories there, and I've said this before, but I also want to take a second to say it again. Thank you so much, Chris, for being a part of this and doing this. This is our 90th episode,
Wow.
the 90th time that you and I have been on a first show together. I wouldn't want to do it with anyone else.
Me
Thank
either.
you so much for always being available, for being transparent, answering any question that somebody has. You have a smile that's infectious. Like even when you're talking seriously, you always have this grin, and you can't help just not smile. Just watching you, I love it. So thank you so much for always doing this.
Well, and I love doing it, and I love to reach the people. I mean, we don't do this for each other, and I think that's why people appreciate it, because this isn't about you, this isn't about me, this is about just getting some information out there, helping one person make a difference in their life. If we can do that, that's all we want. We don't need ratings. We don't do this for any other reason. I don't get paid to do this. You make some money off this because that's what Dryden Wire does. But
well, and by the way, all that money actually goes, if anyone really wanted to know, not that it necessarily matters, it goes into our equipment. So
Right.
that's any revenue that we receive for any advertising, we just put that in because it's getting more expensive. We did this whole thing at the very beginning for like $750. We've spent, I think, almost $9,000 now. It just keeps going up and up in our program, and now, of course, it looks all different, and because we have to invest in that. But I'm sorry to interrupt, but I just want to be clear that that's actually where it goes. It's just back into the show.
100%. And that's exactly why we don't do this. I mean, it's just, I don't know. It's fun to do. It's something different. And I don't know, some people seem to like this. So we keep doing it until people tell us not to do it. But
yeah,
but I just love doing it. I love being transparent. I love being, and we both do this to help other people. We don't do it to help ourselves. This isn't about me or you or anything like that. I mean, I don't know. It's just simple to do. And there's a lot of good people out there. Yeah. Mike Schaefer and Dirk and everybody that gives us weather updates. Dirk, what's the weather going to be?
Oh, by the way, yeah, I got an email from, what's his name?
Mike Judy?
Yeah, yesterday. Like, a situation report weather. I'm like, what? I kind of am up on weather. There's no, and I clicked on it, I read it. I'm like, wait, that's next week?
No, this week.
Is it this week? I thought it said next week's.
No, it's this week. I
So
think he sent it on Sunday. We're supposed to get some possible storms tonight into Wednesday. I mean, we are in severe weather season, so that's why he did that. We put those alerts out there to let people know, hey, it might storm tonight. I mean, it's just a situational report. It's what we call it.
Yep.
And he sends it out to all the local media.
Yeah, we get that a lot. I just didn't realize. I must have misread it. I thought it was like for next week. I'm like, how do you already know about next week?
We're that good in Barron County. We can tell you the weather.
Well, Dirk, he's on it. What did he say?
Yeah. Rain later. Chance of thunderstorms this evening. Severe weather threat looks to remain south of the area.
Look at that. So small. No, I can move all that, but I understand when it's a longer one, it just makes it really small, and I don't like that. I don't know how to fix it. Anyway.
We're not in the threat, so that's
So someone had asked me recently, actually, about the show. That is it, Fitzy, that kind of like who would you give the most credit to for the? I don't know if success is the right word, but the fact we've done this is our 90th show, it must be going okay for on our 90th one. And I said, that's interesting. I don't know. I never thought about it, and the more I thought about it, I said, and tell me if I'm wrong on this. I think it's Fitzy. The success is due to Fitzy. And I would say that if you ask Fitzy that, he would say the opposite. Right. He would say that it's because of me. Would you?
Yes, because you prepare the show. You do send out some notes now just to flow and just so you remember. It's really your flow. It's not for me. It's so you remember to think.
Where I am. Right. That's what I'm looking down. Like, I need to kind of have a flow here. But nobody, I wouldn't want to do this show myself. And we've had a lot of guests, and some of them have been really good. There have been a few that, kind of snooze fest, but that's okay. But I wouldn't want to do this with anyone else but you. And people tune in because I like to find out about, and I think everybody else does, about things that are happening in Barron County. Yes, we can have some fun along the way, but also they're asking you questions. Nobody asks me questions, which is good because what do you want me to answer? Right. So, yeah, I think because of not just you being the sheriff and in Barron, but also your personality. Yeah, I think you drive that show. But regardless, I think the easier or the better answer there, I guess, would be we both do.
Right. We're
Yeah.
both awesome. We're
Yeah,
both.
pretty much. So there you go.
Yeah, pretty much. So,
Yeah, and wow, thank you so much, everyone, for these wonderful compliments. No kidding.
yeah, and that's what and again, we don't do it for the compliments. We don't do it for.
I do. That's it. This is the only time I get nice compliments.
Right, me too.
Is this show?
Yeah, and sometimes they use these comments against us in the world. And
Oh yeah, I never put that other ringtone. So what is going down in Barron? You're in law enforcement. Is there anything going on? I mean, obviously there's always meth. We got to take care of meth, and that's we could do 15. We could spend 15 minutes every show talking about it. And I think after a while, people are kind of probably just getting but it's not going away. But is there anything else that is going on that needs everyone's attention?
Yeah, and I think there is, and I brought up this topic with some of my staff last week, and we were working on an issue, and it came from So I've met with our judges, our clerk of courts over restraining orders, and it's probably, I don't know, it's probably the number one thing that we deal with in Barron County besides methamphetamine.
What?
Yeah, I know. As I look at some of the numbers, and I don't have the numbers in front of me, but so I met with Judge Babbler, I met with our clerk of courts. I met with some of their staff. I met with our dispatch. I met with our patrol and our paper service, Mike Ranikine, who serves our papers. And there's a lot of restraining orders in Barron County, and I think a lot of counties. And basically, if you're my neighbor, Ben, and I don't like that you do something, I can
burn cardboard.
Like burn cardboard. There you go. It's like burn cardboard. Perfect segue. Yeah. If I don't like that you burn cardboard, I tell you, knock it off, Ben, and you say, go fly a kite, and I say, I'm getting a restraining order against you. I feel threatened. And so I can go to the Barron County clerk of courts and fill out a paperwork that says, I think Ben's harassing me because he burns cardboard and it blows into my windows or whatever it is. Oh. And because there's really not a crime, there might be a crime there or a ability to give a ticket. We don't like to give tickets. I know some people don't believe that, but cops don't like to give tickets. We don't like to cite people for things. But we're seeing a lot of neighbor disputes. We're seeing a lot of harassment. Facebook is the reason. Cell phones. I can type, Ben is blah, blah, blah on Facebook. You can take offense to that. You can get a restraining order or a harassment restraining order against me because you don't like something I typed on Facebook.
What?
Yes. And so
I'm going to start taking names for it. I'm going to file like 20 of these a day.
Right. Well, you
I didn't know I could, but
because they cost like $167 plus $75 to be served. So that's the other people don't know is, well, in law enforcement, we want to give an answer. When we pull up to a scene, you call for help, we want to give you an answer. Well, it's really not illegal for me to tell Ben blah, blah, blah on Facebook. There's not a ticket I can give you for doing that. But if you feel harassed or threatened by that, you can get a restraining order. You get a temporary restraining order, and then during that, sometime in the next 14 days, there's a court hearing where you and the person you file it against have to go to court. Well, you don't have to go to court. You can go to court if you want to. And then,
if somebody filed that against me, like my neighbor did, hopefully my neighbor's not watching. So we don't tell them how this process. It's an easy process. You're saying I wouldn't have. I mean, it's filed against me. I wouldn't have to go to go.
You don't have to, but if you don't go and he shows up, then it's going to get granted for 2 years.
Oh, snap.
But if you go to court and say, that's not what I meant, it was, blah, blah, blah.
Sure. Make your case.
And then the judge says, we're not having this. And, only about 50% of our restraining orders ever get granted after the temporary thing. So I think there's some misconceptions out there about restraining orders, that it's this easy piece of paper to go get, and that for 2 years, then Ben can't harass me or can't talk to me or can't be in the same place that I am. So we're going to do something different when it comes to this, because we're seeing a lot of them, and we're seeing a lot of them get just after the 2 weeks or during the hearing, they get canceled or they get taken out or they don't get extended. So, and then the problem still exists. So we've got to do something from a law enforcement standpoint.
What?
And,
Yeah. So I'm sorry. I'm assuming you're getting
no,
to
go
that.
ahead.
Is what can law enforcement do about that? Actually, hold on. I want to circle back here.
Okay.
So how much time does it take? So that first process, that's taking law enforcement's time, right? Somebody, my neighbor would call, so a deputy or a municipality,
Right.
whatever. They come out, right? So now they have to stop doing what they're doing, busting, whatever.
Yeah.
And I suppose we should probably specify so we don't get in more trouble. Because we want to go one show. Can we do one show without getting in trouble? That if there is a need for a restraining order, do it.
Right.
100%. We should probably state that. But my neighbor is saying anything about me, they shouldn't do that.
Right.
So they have that time that goes into it. Then they have to, I'm assuming, go and fill out a report. About how long does it take, you think? I don't know if you've ever filled out one of those before. Well, I'm sure you have. How much time does that take? 10 minutes to fill out a report or whatever you have to do when you're finished?
Yeah, it takes some time, and you also have to have some information that we can't help you with. Even though I know who Ben Dryden is, I know Ben's address, I can't give you that as a law enforcement officer. That's somewhat protected information. So I can't help you fill it out. So you have to come on your own time at the clerk of court's office and fill out the form and file it and file a filing fee. And I think you make a good point, because this is totally different than domestic abuse restraining orders and restraining orders that the judge sets in place during the commission of a crime. These are basically harassment restraining orders. The other things, there's not a fee for some of that stuff. The judge sets that. You don't pay for that. We enforce that heavily. That's totally different than I'm not talking about domestic abuse or anything like that. Those are legit. Everything is fine with those. There's not a fee. If you need one, I think you make a good point. We're just saying some of this stuff because of Facebook. And we had a big.
How many of these are you getting from Facebook, you think? Maybe not, just a percentage-wise, like 1 out of 10, ballpark it. We're not going to hold you accountable to the number.
4 out of 10.
What?
If you include cell phones, it's probably 5 out of 10. Because no one will go to you, and your neighbor won't even do that anymore. Neighbors don't approach other neighbors anymore. We need to get back to doing that, of having a conversation. Hey, Ben, I don't care that you burn boxes, but can you not do it on Saturday afternoons when I'm outside walking my dog or mowing my grass?
Right.
We need to get back to some, being civil with each other and saying, you know what, you're right. It's a free country. I can burn my boxes whenever I want. Yeah. I understand it is, but we've got to get back to doing that. So we've got to do a better job with just being civil towards each other and not involving law enforcement, because some of these, if you look at a municipality is a little different, but they're busy doing other stuff. But if you look at, I might have a complaint in Prairie Farm, and then I might have to go all the way to Birchwood, and I got to run across the country because somebody sent you a message on Facebook. So now you're taking a squad car out of play for might be 2 hours by the time I handle this call, go up and handle your call, and then get back to wherever I was going.
Yeah.
So it does take some time. But so Facebook, we've determined that Facebook is a culprit here, and we understand that. You understand Facebook, because people love to throw comments out there because they're protected by this screen. They don't think anybody can reach out and grab it from the screen. So back to this. Yeah. So it takes you 20 minutes to fill this paperwork out.
Not including the you having to drive there, depending on where it is.
Correct.
Then be there. So that whole process, and then drive back, or maybe you fill it out in your car, or whatever, however it works. We'll ballpark it here. What, 2 hours, 3 hours, somewhere in there?
It takes time to fill out, yeah.
Sure. Okay. So, and that's part of that things take time. That's fine.
Right.
So a couple, 3 hours. Then you also said, then there's a follow-up. So let's say this is after the 2 weeks you go, and then the judge extends it for, you said about 50% of them don't go past that, but that also means 50% do.
Correct.
So of those, then is it a kind of a high call volume of, my neighbor once again is burning on a Saturday when it says they can't, or whatever it is, right?
Correct, 100%.
So then that's okay. And now that they have that piece of paper, they're probably more likely to call all the time, because basically, I don't like my neighbor, and now I'm just going to call the cops every single time because they're like my own personal police force right now.
Correct, 100%. And
That's
we
awesome.
have
I mean, horrible, but awesome.
right. And then and we have to make a determination based on what's written that Ben can't burn, maybe it's specific. Ben can't use the internet, or Ben can't use this, or Ben can't do this, and it's a specific time or date or whatever. And now we have to determine, well, did you really start burning before noon, or was it just the smoke from the other neighbor's house? Then we have to make this judgment call from a law enforcement standpoint on this. And I don't want to say frivolous, but
It is. It totally is. Some of them certainly have to fall into that category. Not all of them, but come on.
Not all of them. But we've got to make this interpretation of what this piece of paper means. And because some of them aren't, like the no contacts are easy. But is driving by your house a no contact, a violation of your no contact? I don't, no, it's not. And you have to literally have contact. So is the filing fee refunded? If the legit no, the filing fee is not refunded. On the harassment ones, I don't believe the domestic abuse ones are totally different. Again, those are, a lot of them aren't charged at all for that. Or if the judge sets it as part of a criminal case, you're not charged.
And and just be clear, that's not what we're referring to here in this part of this.
This is harassment, basically. You feel you're being harassed, and a lot of it is Facebook text messages. But we're gonna, I think we have a solution.
I was just going to say, so how do, and Dirk, you're 100% right. This circles back to what you were saying, Fitzy. Neighbors just have to start talking. I mean, if my neighbor had just come over and said, hey, on Saturdays, if it's a nice day, we have a little pool and we got our little kids out there in the pool, which is right across the fence.
Right.
Would you mind not burning this or that, whatever on that? It's, dude, no problem.
And
that's easy, done.
And give a solution. Like, hey, we have soccer practice on Tuesday night. You can burn all night long Tuesdays. Whatever. We're not home. Yeah. We're not gonna, And then you'd be like, hey, you want to come over for a beer, a pop, whatever.
Yeah.
That's how it used to be. So I think our solution is we're probably going to go, and cops don't like writing tickets, but I think there is harassment law. There's unlawful use of a telephone. There's unlawful use of a computer device. There's disorderly conduct, and they're all $250 tickets. And I think some of this is, you know what? I'm going to write you a ticket. I'm going to write your neighbor a ticket. If you guys can't get along, the judge is going to decide who's right here.
And you get a ticket, and you get a ticket, and you get a ticket.
Well, and some of that is we've probably gotten away from that. One, COVID. Two, we've probably talked to people over the phone more than going to calls. So
interesting.
And so I think a lot of things have come through this. So, and that's what I do. I don't get to do police stuff. I analyze this stuff in my office, and then I work with our team. So, in restorative justice, that's how restorative justice. And Polly was the person who started restorative justice. She's the guru of restorative justice. That's exactly why we did that. What was neighbors? That's why we couldn't deal with this, and so we need to bring some of that back. And we've all incorporated restorative justice practices, both in our court, in our schools, in our law enforcement. We need to get back to putting Ben and your neighbor together and saying, and we need to mediate that a little bit more. And that's why sometimes spending 30 minutes.
Okay. Yeah. I get what you're saying now. So if I'm understanding this correctly, it isn't just, boy, it would be great if Ben and his neighbor could just get along. It's all right. If we're going to get called out before we really obviously analyze and figure out what's going on, etc., whatever, you guys do what you do.
Right.
But before it's the restraining order, before it's a ticket, before anything, how about the mediating part? We need to sit these two down, in a, I don't know where that would be, in between their homes, right out in the yard, and try to do that's. So how do you train that? Is there training for that, or is it just I don't know? If you're a cop, just try to figure it out, or is it boy? We really should probably start training on this, or do you already have training on that?
Yeah, Polly's trained us all in this, and some of not our new cops, and we probably need to ingrain that better in our new cops, both in the municipality levels and the sheriff's department levels. But
that's awesome. I didn't know that.
We went through a lot of that. And Polly's right. Sometimes it takes a third party to do that, not a cop in a uniform. Although, that's where we're at on a Saturday afternoon, is a cop in a uniform. And I think we have the respect, at least in Northwest Wisconsin, where we can do this. But when it doesn't reach that level where the cop can't negotiate this, and is that the cop's job to do this, spend 30 minutes doing this? But yes, it is, because it might stop us from having 6 more calls over the next 10 weeks. So that half hour of time might be well invested into stopping future calls.
Smart.
So it's a game, and it's a risk. Really.
Well, it's more proactive, and you've
100%.
always talked about being proactive in law enforcement. You just can't be reactive. You have to be. How do we fix this, or what can we do to, in this case, hopefully, it kind of solve some of these issues, educate and teach some of these people a few things, like how to be neighbors.
Right.
But also that means it saves us time, because here in Washburn, Barron's a little bit different. You have more municipalities, and you have a larger, more law enforcement in Barron County for about the same geographical areas like a Washburn. But, if it's, I don't know, we got 1 or 2, like one North car, it's a deputy, and they get called, they have to go way over somewhere, and then there's an emergency. Now, I think you were saying that earlier. Now it's like a 20-minute drive over to something that they couldn't be at. Now, that's hyperbole. That's maybe an extreme example, but that's interesting on what the role law enforcement then has to play in this, or should play in this. From your point of view, we need to start doing these things.
Right. And so I think we're looking at it right now. That's what we're analyzing. How do we do this better? And so we're going to do that.
Can you use volunteers, Polly, when you utilize?
Restorative Justice Polly ran the best volunteer organization in Barron County. I mean, she had volunteers that would do this on a nightly basis if we needed to. The volunteerism isn't there like when Polly did it, but you need a ruler like Polly. She ruled with an iron fist, and she made us all do it. It was great. but she was so awesome at it. She was just the best. I mean, she made restorative justice what it was in Barron County, and now, like I said, she's trained. She went across the nation and trained people in restorative justice. That's how great we were in restorative justice in Barron County. I mean, Barron County became the leader in restorative justice across the nation. So please stop now. Yeah, but honestly, I'm not going to stop, because I think it's that awesome. But that just leads us to where we are today, and being able to do some of this stuff on our own without the volunteers, because we don't have the same volunteerism that we used to have, and the same organization or the same financial stability to do some of these things. I mean, everything costs money and to do, and we don't have some of that same financial stability. But just back to restraining orders for one more second, and is that you may apply for a restraining order, and it may be granted, and it may cost you money. And I think we've got to do a better job of explaining that to people, from our dispatchers to our patrolmen, to our municipalities, because right now, if we don't have an answer, we want to give you an answer, and our go-to answer is get a restraining order. And we need to explain it to you better, Ben, that you may apply for one, you may get it granted, and it may cost you money. Well, now it's like, well, maybe I do like my neighbor enough to not do that, or I don't really want to go through all that, and I'll just block the person's number and not let them text me anymore, or Facebook them, or whatever it is. Or it's not that important that what someone says about me doesn't hurt me. Sticks and stones may break my bones, and it will never hurt me. Yeah,
no kidding. I guess I really would have filed like 160 of these already then, had I even know we could do that. But no, there's other ones that we get just horrible emails. I mean, just the most. It's hard not to get emotional about it, because what people are capable of saying. It gets to me. But I just block their email.
Right.
Or I block them on Facebook. If you're going to be that extreme, it's whatever. I don't care. You know who should do this? Looks like Polly said we could create a small core now, set up 20 people who are all in. You only need one. And he's got time. He's got some free time. He's retired. Terry Dryden.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wait, she said non-threatening person. Okay. Because he'll just show up. He'll solve it. Knock it off. That'd be
right.
Yeah, don't call that.
Yeah, well, no, we won't. But no. Polly's right. It's on our list to do is go back to some of this restored and conferencing for some of these cases. Judge Babler, all three of our judges do a good job with that, and we need to bring that core group back to do some of those bigger cases. And it's how it impacts people and how that burning of your garbage impacts someone else's life. And when I sit and tell you that, like, why does that bother you? Well, I'm trying to enjoy. I only get my kids every Saturday, and
Right.
and my kid was, and you're like, well, man, I'm so sorry. And when you really hear the reason of how it impacts you, it's like any person that has a little bit of a heart can say, sorry, won't ever happen again.
Exactly. Done. No problem.
And we've got to get back to that. And we're going to get back to that. I mean, that's my goal in life, is to make the little things make a big difference. And I think we can do that. I think that's another reason why we do this show. It's to convince one person to do one good thing today, and we've done our job.
And hopefully anyone that is watching right now, if they have someone that they know, because I think, we have a very highly educated and wonderful viewership for our show,
Right.
but they may know people that are idiots. So now they can educate them. Right. And when they call and say, hey, I'm going to call somebody and file a harassment thing, it's, well, actually, let's walk through a few things first. Right. Is there like almost like a frequently asked question or a step-by-step? I think either law enforcement did this. I think maybe when Dad was a sheriff, somebody was sent it out where it was what to do when you hit a deer.
Yep.
Don't call 911, I think, is pretty much what that message was. And I mean, if it's an emergency, of course, call 911. But if there's a number for it, and I didn't even know any of that stuff. I'm reading going, what? I didn't know this is what you're supposed to do. It's almost like okay, if you have a situation or somebody's blah, 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 here's a few things to think about first and kind of go through before you make the call. But of course, you can always call. Right. But maybe consider these things first. Is there like a list or something that can be posted or published?
It kind of got suggested yesterday that we do that. It's just there's so many examples and
variables.
And we don't want to stop people from getting these. It's not an idea to stop them, because there are very legitimate concerns, threats that we need to do it. And law enforcement is going to help this process along. I think it's in law enforcement's hands to educate the people more, from our dispatchers to our patrolmen. I think we're going to be able to do that here, and some public interaction on this topic, I think, is good. I think we're developing a plan. I think when we talk about that plan more, I think it's going to take time to roll this out and talk about it, but I think it's a good thing. So,
well, I look forward to, and maybe we should just, since this is a big deal. I mean, you had said earlier at the very beginning of this topic about how much time it's meth, and then this. It's in terms of the time that it's taking. Mm-hmm. So we should continue to talk about that. We're up against our time, but I wanted to make sure. So things that are coming up. I have a live show this Friday with Tom Tiffany. It's supposed to be on Thursday, but I don't know. He's doing something, so it's not till Friday. But that's actually not what I wanted to get to. We have a special announcement for next week. I didn't write it down.
What is it?
Our show is going to be at...
at noon.
Is that next week? Yeah, it's next week. Our show is going to be at noon.
Correct.
Is that correct? So we're going to do a noon show so a week from today, and we'll announce this. We'll post this. It's not going to be at 8:30. It'll be at 12 o'clock, same place, Facebook, right here. But we're going to do this so we can do some giveaways. I don't know. It could just be like a couple $25 Amazon gift cards. Maybe we'll, call Quick Trip, or see if anybody wants to donate anything to give away. But we're doing it because it's something we've never done before. I thought it'd be kind of fun to do. It's doing it at noon. Hopefully people will be that normally can't watch us live, because we really do it at a bad time. 8:30. Right. Everybody's at work.
It's supposed to be.
It's supposed to be, right. So we want to kind of catch people for this half hour, 45 minutes in their lunch hours, so we can do some giveaways. So that's what we're doing. T-shirts.
They want to give away a T-shirt.
No. I ordered a whole bunch of them. I'm like, yeah, I'm not giving these things away, but you could order them. Well, you know what? All mine I ordered just for me, so they're all like my size. But Yeah, and I think
We'll figure something.
We'll figure something out. But just want to make sure everybody knows it'll be on noon on next Tuesday.
Yep.
And I think that works out perfectly for you because you had something going on that morning anyway.
Yep, I have a county board meeting. We're giving out some lifesaver awards for the ice rescue that we had. We're going to honor some people. County board is that morning I need to be at. So, and we wanted to try something different anyway. We had been talking about it for a long time, and I can't make in a couple weeks, and I won't be on. You got a couple other guests that are going to fill in.
Yeah, I know. It's been a Fitzy show, and you came to be on the show. But no, we'll have. I think that's in May sometime. I think. I think it's the first Tuesday in May. Yeah, it'll be Kirk Anderson, friend of the show, firefighter and the St. Croix Falls mayor. And then I talked to Brent Walk, so he'll be on. So it'll be the three of us, Polk County Sheriff Brent Walk, Kirk Anderson, and myself, filling it. See, it takes two people just to fill in for you.
Oh, that's awesome. See, that makes me feel good. See, it's the little things that make a big difference.
It just. All right. Anything else going on or we need to discuss that we didn't get a chance to or that's coming up this week for you?
No. Happy Easter, everyone. Drive safe this weekend. A lot of travel over the Easter weekend, so we'll be out in full force, making sure, a lot of kids coming home from college and spring breaks are ending or starting in some school districts still, but a lot of travel on Friday, a lot of travel on Sunday. Many schools aren't in session on Friday, so just want to wish everybody happy Easter and just enjoy the weekend and enjoy your family.
The kids are at home again Friday?
Probably. My kids
seriously, dude. This is just too much. No kidding. I forgot. Happy Easter, everyone. Oh, and Amanda. Aw. Hey, real quick, Fitzy. Do Amanda, Amanda, in your cop talk, like if that was her license plate. A is in
Adam. M is in Mary. A is in Adam. N is in Nora. D is in David. A is in Adam. Wow. That's putting me on the spot. I did.
Yeah, it is. Let's do another one real quick. Renee.
No.
Well, no, that's all 103s. Hold on. One more. Mindy. Mindy. I'll do Mindy. Mancy.
No. Mary.
No, man. Oh, with the. All right. I'll go. Melancholy, indigo, pneumonia, Dryden, and what's Y? Where'd it go?
Why?
Yellow.
Yeah, there you go.
Is it so? What is it actually? Mary,
Mary, Adam, Nora, David.
Yeah,
Young.
it's not Adam. That's an I.
I mean, yeah, whatever.
We need to start doing this all the time. At least once a show. We're totally doing. Yeah, but it sounds like it starts with an end. Come on, Mike. Barron County Sheriff Chris Fitzgerald. I'm Ben Dryden. You've been watching Positive Tuesday with Ben and Fitzy, presented by Professional Exteriors and Interiors. With nearly 20 years of experience, this locally owned and operated business provides quality work both on the outside and the inside of your home or business. So give Brian a call today. The number's on the screen there, 520-2271. As we sign off, remember, it's the little things that make a big difference. Thank you for watching and have a blessed day. Yeah, but it sounds like an F. It should be an F.